Okay, question 4. Triangle P has been drawn on a grid. On the grid, draw an enlargement of the triangle P with scale. Okay, this is an enlargement with scale factor 3. Normally, they would give the factor of enlargement and the point from which it is enlarged, we call the origin. They haven't given us one here, so we're going to pick this point here, but you could pick anywhere. But obviously if you pick somewhere here, then it would enlarge that way and you'd have no squares. Okay, so we're going to guess it here. Now there's a couple of ways you can tackle this. What I normally do is kind of imagine a vector from here to here. So that vector would be 1 across and 2 up to get me to that point. So if I want to scale this up with a factor 3, I go once, twice, 3 times. Okay, so that gets me there once, then across and up 2, and then across and up 3. Okay, now this is scale factor 3 from the origin. Okay, the other way you can do it is just to put your ruler on the page and draw a line that passes through that point and it kind of extends out like that as far as you want, and then kind of measure 3 chunks. But even with a ruler and a pencil, that method is very prone to error, because as you get further and further away from the origin, you are prone to go left or right and become inaccurate, especially with half squares and things like that. So I prefer to use counting squares across and up. Okay, so we'll do this for the second point as well. From here, from our origin, 1 across, 1 up, 1 across, 1 up, 1 across, 1 up. That ends up there. And then to this point here, this is 3 across and 1 up. And if we were doing this, thinking it as a vector, 3 across would be that, 1 up would be that. So really it's the vector from here to here. It's that vector from there to there, but it's multiplied by 3. Okay, and so you end up with 9, 3 from wherever your origin is. So that's 3, 6, 9, and then 1, 2, 3 up gets us to there. Okay, and then we've now plotted the 3 points without really thinking about them as a triangle. Now when we try and join them up with our ruler, if they form a triangle which looks similar to the original triangle, that one there, then we know that all 3 points have been drawn correctly. So that's a quick sanity check to make sure we haven't made a mistake. Okay, second part of the question. On the lower grid, triangle Q has been drawn. Oh, and one more thing to watch for on these is quite often they'll ask you to label this triangle. So just check and make sure that they haven't been asked to label it as Q or R or T or something like that. If it did, just the same as that's labelled in the middle like that, you might label this as P prime, something like that. Okay, triangle Q has been drawn on a grid. On the grid, rotate triangle Q 90 degrees clockwise with centre O. So that's our centre. We can figure out where these points are going to go, because they are going to be as a right angle from here. Okay, so that point done as a right angle, it was going across 1 and up 2, so at a right angle it's going to go across 2 and down 1. Okay, just draw that again. To there. Okay, so that's our first point. That's this point here. And you can see it's kind of gone round in a circle. It's kind of 90 degrees round in a circle, because we've been asked to do it 90 degrees and it's clockwise, so we've turned like that. Okay, this point here is 3 across and 2 up. So here we're going to go 90 degrees transverse. So basically it flips the X and Y and one of them will go negative. So we'll go, instead of 3 across and 2 up, we'll go 3 down and 2 across. Okay, that should get us to there. And that was that point there. So again, you can see that it's been moved 90 degrees. So if you just kind of sketch these in pencil, you can see that that's 90 degrees there. Okay. And then finally, the last point up here. So we've done that one, we've done this one, and now it's 1 across and 3 up. Okay, so drawing that on there, 90 degrees across, it's going to go, instead of 1 across and 3 up, it'll be 1 down and 3 across. And again, does that look like a right angle? Yes, it does. And mark that point on. Okay, and then if we now join the 3 points that we have plotted, does that look exactly the same as the first Q? Yes, it does, and we'll mark this as Q prime. Okay, and let's just check the mark scheme. The triangle at 2 by -1. Two across by -1, yep. Our others are 3 -1 and 2 -3. 3, -1 and 2, -3. Okay, and you get 2 marks for the correct enlargement. You get 1 if you've drawn a triangle that's the correct scale factor but in the wrong place, and you get 1 if you've done some kind of enlargement but by the wrong scale factor. Okay, and then 3 marks for a correct rotation. 2 marks if you've got it down into the correct quadrant. So those are the 4 quadrants. This is positive X, positive Y. Our triangle was going from here, rotated down into here. Okay, so if we were in the right quadrant but the triangle that was drawn was incorrect, usually because you plotted the points badly, you'd still get 2 marks. And any kind of rotation gets you 1 mark. Okay.